Welcome back. Today we're reading Chapter 2 in Popeye, in deep sea danger. Chapter 2. Cast off. Some distance away, two men listened intently to the voices of Popeye and Professor Find'em coming from a small radio speaker. "Great!" exclaimed the burly man whose raspy voice had earned him the nickname of Grumbler. "The microphone works. "Quiet, Grumbler." His companion raised a warning finger. "Listen." When they had heard all they needed to, Grumbler spoke with satisfaction. "Now we can go ahead, Dr. Stare," he said. "Now that we know Find'em is going to sail, we can put the next part of our plan into operation." Dr. Stare nodded. His unusually large, dark eyes seemed to glow with evil excitement. "Yeah, Grumbler," he said. "And if they find that the sea monster does exist, we're rich." Back at Popeye's home, Find'em suggested that they must get a small crew together. Sweet Pea volunteered at once. Going on the trip to locate the sea monster would help him with his homework assignment, he explained. He had to write an essay about a legendary or mythical creature. Popeye told Find'em that Sweet Pea was an experienced cabin boy. And deckhand. But Olive Oil refused to let Sweet Pea sail unless she accompanied him. "What if we see the monster?" asked Sweet Pea. "Just looking at that drawing frightened you." "Where your safety is concerned," Olive replied, patting Sweet Pea on top of his blue sailor cap, "I can be very brave." The final crew member was signed on when J. Wellington Wimpy emerged from the kitchen, munching on a hamburger. He just happened to have found there. "Why would you want to sign aboard for the voyage?" asked Popeye. Wimpy said he would serve as cook and second mate in exchange for the exclusive right to market what he planned to call monster burgers. Extra large hamburgers packed in a container bearing the sea monster's photo. "You may have that franchise," Find'em assured Wimpy, shaking his hand. "Welcome aboard." Four days later, Popeye led them aboard the Discoverer. It was a sleek, old-fashioned schooner with double masts, a small ship. It looked to be speedy in the wind, but a modern engine had been installed to power the craft along during windless periods. Sweet Pea stood beside the gangplank, his long nightshirt fluttering in the fresh sea breeze. He blew a bosun's whistle, piping the group aboard in the finest naval tradition. Popeye beamed, his corncob pipe wagging up and down in his mouth in a sign of approval. He liked to see the younger generation continuing the old sea customs. "A favoring wind," Popeye noted, his pipe stem pointing to the two billowing white sails. As Popeye gave orders, the ropes fore and aft were untied by the dockhands. Professor Findham and Olive loosened more sail, and Popeye roared with exhilarating command. "Cast off!" "Where are they heading?" the dockhand asked his buddy. "Nobody knows," replied the other. "That prof wouldn't tell the deck rat where he planned to sail. But Scuttlebutt has it that they're hunting for a sea monster." Both men laughed as they watched the sails fill with wind and the schooner ease away. They both thought that in this day of space travel, no one was daft enough to waste time looking for sea monsters. "They're turning hard aport," Dr. Stair noted. His left eye was closed, but his big dark right eye was pressed to the eyepiece of a submarine periscope. Grumbler worked the modern-looking control panel of the mini-sub, with only their periscope poking above the coastal waters. It would be easy to follow the Discoverer completely unseen. "If Findham doesn't take us to the sea monster," Dr. Stair said enthusiastically, "we'll take it over." "And that schooner will accidentally sink with all hands on board," said Grumbler, laughing. "We've got to know how to turn that monster into big money." For years, Grumbler's deep, authoritative voice had been heard across the country. As the ringmaster of a traveling circus, he had introduced many circus acts. One of the acts he had introduced countless times was Dr. Stair and his astounding hypnotic powers. Dr. Stair would rapidly hypnotize volunteers from the circus audience, ordering them to do amusing things like imitate a dog or ride a circus elephant. Once again, the two men were working together, but this time with sinister intent. "They're sailing northeast," Dr. Stair observed, checking his chart. "Where can they be headed?" For 2 days, Popeye kept the bow of the Discoverer pointing northeast. A bright sun shone on the calm sea waters. Occasionally, white-capped waves rocked the schooner, sending Wimpy to his bottle of anti-seasick pills. He was careful to take only one pill. More would make him sleepy. A day later, dark clouds hovered low over a point of shadowy land jutting into the sea. It was their destination, Cape Gloom. Even Popeye found himself shivering at his first sight of their dismal destination. "Oh!" exclaimed Olive. "Where did the sun go? It's so dark." They were in a place where there seemed to be no sun. There was only a coast of low-lying, giant gray rocks and mysterious, dark blue waters. No fish could be seen swimming alongside. No birds flew in the cloud-covered sky. It was a silent world without life or color. Cape Gloom had been well named. "Look!" gasped Sweet Pea. Suddenly, blue and red flames flared along the railing, the mast tops, and the spark ends. That's the end of Chapter 2. I hope you'll join me next time for Chapter 3. Cape Gloom. We'll see what happens in Chapter 3. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time.